There's moments in time challenges, which is what I'll talk about here. And then there's kind of broader strategic challenges, which I kind of alluded to earlier, that it took us 2 years to find product market fit. That was probably the hardest 2 year span for the company. But there was a moment in time where we had signed a term sheet for our Series B. This is in 2020, and it came apart at truly the 11th hour, the day before it was supposed to close. And this was February of 2020. And the pandemic was starting to become a real thing. The stock market had collapsed the week that our term sheet came apart. I think the Dow fell 10,000 points in those 5 days. This is the end of February of 2020. And the term sheet came apart actually having nothing to do with the pandemic. There were other reasons it came apart that also had nothing to do with Tovala. And we had about 3 weeks of cash in the bank. So it was a pretty terrible, to put it mildly, moment. We had a brand. It was our first child was born about 4 weeks before that. So we had a newborn in the house, and this kind of looming pandemic that no one knew what it was going to mean or what it was going to do for your livelihood, your health, business, et cetera. And yeah, that was the one night where I remember wanting to give up, probably in the life of the company. I've had many, many hard moments where I'm frustrated and can't believe it. And this was the one night where I just felt pity for myself and wanted to throw in the towel. And then by the morning when I'd woken up, I'd kind of pulled myself together, but that was truly the closest we have come to dying once there was kind of a real business in place. And we found a way. We found a way to survive. And now that story is part of company lore. And I think we have a value at Tovala called embrace the obstacles. And in many ways that moment embodies that value. That the team rose to the occasion. We ended up raising enough capital to keep everyone's jobs together. And we rallied and really used that to come together as an organization. And now we use it as an example of, hey, you think this is hard. Remember when we went through that crisis in 2020 and survived to tell the story.
Did you have to lay people off in that process to deal with the cash?
We didn't. This happened on a Thursday night, and we spent basically Friday afternoon through Sunday night on the phone with every single one of our investors, trying to raise $25,000 checks. This was going to be a $20 million round. And I think we were even taking $10,000 checks, whatever we could raise. And the crazy thing was we had never been more bullish on the business. The business was on fire. It was growing so fast. And our investors knew that. And really the only thing precluding them from readily giving us more money was this looming pandemic. And no one knew, people were putting money under their mattresses. No one knew what was going to happen. And so that's what we had to help, get them over. And I think for most of our investors, it was a leap of faith. And probably some feeling like this is not right, what's happening, and we need to help this company survive. But by Monday morning, we had raised $2 million, and that had bought us several months, 3, 4 months, 5 months. And so we got up in front of the whole company. We called an emergency, all hands, every function, production teams, and shared a much longer, kind of more transparent version of this story, exactly what happened behind the scenes. And as I said, used it as a rallying cry and told everyone we're going to go raise this round of funding again, which we did. We raised the Series B, $20 million Series B, all in, including that bridge round. And the business kept scaling.